It me! Welcome back to the Lifting with Lauren podcast. I'm Lauren, and today's podcast is another group coaching call with a couple of my clients, a husband and wife, and we're going over mindset. So we have different themes for different weeks of the month, and this was our mindset call. And we were essentially talking about this idea of creating a very rigid finality to the way that we view our fitness and health. And that's not to say that we're not giving ourselves room to, be human. But instead it's almost this like law of attraction. Like if I believe that I am this thing, if I believe that I am healthy, then that's how I'm going to live my life. So check out the little conversation that we have after this, and you'll kind of see how we got to some of those conclusions and how it's going to be affecting these two in the future. Cool. All right. So the whole goal with today is to just kind of tackle mindset. I know that we're at the end of October, but obviously we're looking forward to November and trying to hopefully look with fresh new eyes, because next week will be the goal setting session, where we'll try to lay out things as best we can depending on circumstance. So kind of wanted to see where your minds are at. If you don't mind me kind of bringing it up, Marlene, a week or two ago, you had mentioned that you felt like your mind wasn't in the right spot for like the path that we're on right now. Can you tell me a little bit more about kind of where you are mentally with the weight loss and all that?
In all honesty, I think the excuse this time is we are kind of in a limbo state with the radiation. Mm-hmm. And it's put me in what I call holding pattern.
Right.
It's like all our focus is on that, getting through it.
Right.
Seeing how it's going to affect Jack.
Right.
And that's kind of where I'm at right now, and why I'm surprised. I shouldn't be, because I had an alcoholic beverage, so maybe that's why I put on the extra weight, but I didn't record it.
Okay.
I'm just gonna be honest.
Maybe you had the alcoholic beverage and then some snacks or whatever.
No, I actually had the alcohol. I had that with the Japanese food.
Okay. By the way, how did you do last week? We had talked about that you felt like you had some late night snacking and you were going to plan in advance to have that late night snacking. Did you do that?
No, but what I did do is I talked myself out of it.
Okay.
I did. I talked myself out of it, and I went to bed earlier, and the temptation was stopped because I went to bed and went to sleep.
Okay. How did you talk yourself out of it? Was it just going to sleep, or did you have some kind of dialogue?
I tried not to entertain it at all.
Okay.
I just tried to shut the door when it creep in there. Oh, you can have this now. Well, you've got 200 calories left. You can do this. Well, I had just, instead of letting the seed land, I just didn't entertain it.
Okay.
I didn't dwell on it, didn't entertain it, and just thought, I'm just going to go to bed.
Okay. And was that every day, or was that just
It was about 3 nights.
3 nights.
About 3 nights in a row.
Nice. Okay. But you won every time.
I did. I really did. That's why I'm sorry, because in all honesty, I had less food yesterday than I normally would eat. In fact, when I just learned something new. Mm-hmm. I used to do it when I first started my Fitness Pal, but Jack showed me on our little phones that we can hit this thing about the nutrition. I mean, we can end your thing for the day.
Yeah.
And I think this probably helped my mindset too. It said that if every day was like today, in 5 weeks, you will be down to 165, which is my goal. Yeah, it's my goal right now, my new goal. Right. And it's like, oh, that's, it got me excited, and it got me to where it was easier to say no. Yeah. Because I saw a specific goal and it just resonated on me.
Yeah.
All right. So that really helped me a lot. And so I was really doing good.
Yeah.
In fact, yesterday when I did my plan, when I hit the button at the end of the day, it said, you have not had enough today. Yeah. Still put on 2 pounds. But I didn't eat. Because his appetite's down. I'm just not thinking about food as much either.
Right.
And so I have neither. Plus we're packing. We're trying to declutter the house so we can put it on the market to see if it's going to sell.
Yeah.
And that's keeping me so busy. I don't think about eating.
Right.
So I would say that at least 3 days of this week, not the same 3 maybe. Yeah. I probably didn't even have my 1,400 calories.
Right.
Truly, I didn't.
A couple things. One, do remember that weight fluctuations are normal. So even if, there could be any number of reasons why your weight was up today. If it's 2 pounds up from yesterday, it could be a water thing. It could be a bathroom thing. It could be,
Sitting in the truck for long hours thing.
A what?
Sitting in the truck, because we're going to Tampa every morning at 5:30 in the morning.
Right.
Yeah, and driving all the way down there, driving all the way back.
Mm-hmm.
And then today we went up to Lady Lake, which was another 2-hour drive, 1 hour up, 1 hour back.
Right.
So sedentary could make it.
Right. So any of that could be affecting it. And that's why I've been having you guys like log your weight every single day, is because you got to get used to seeing those fluctuations. If you're getting used to seeing those every day, then it's not going to screw your mind up as much whenever you see that increase. And that was a mistake that I made, for, like I explained before, for a long time, is I was only having people weigh themselves every 2 weeks. Well, the problem is that that's just a blip on the radar. If instead we can have you weighing yourself every day, you can say, okay, well, yesterday I was 188, today I'm 190, but tomorrow I'm back to like 188, or maybe I'm 187. Like, your weight can fluctuate that much. So if you can get used to seeing those fluctuations, what will happen is over time, that's how you'll see that drop. I've got another client that's doing that, where she logs her weight every day. And the trend is like this, so if you're going right, left, it's going down, but it looks like this. So literally her weight goes up and then down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And it could be like every few days it'll spike up and then it'll drop down, and then it'll spike up and then it'll drop lower. It'll spike up and it drops lower. But she's gotten herself used to seeing those spikes, so it doesn't bother us when we see that, as long as we're on the right track. Now, going back to something that you said at the beginning about a couple things that you actually made some really great points about your mindset. The first was that you were basically shutting yourself down from some temptation. So we kind of talked about this last week with the habits, like making something, like increasing the resistance. And that's kind of why we had talked about you, just making some room for you to have those snacks if you need them. Instead, you went the opposite direction and you just said, no, I'm not going to do this. That's awesome. And like, you do have to remember that you're human, and maybe sometimes you will do that and you just have to make some room for it. But you did a couple of things. The first was that you said, I'm not going to do this. And the second is that you made it final because you told MyFitnessPal you were done for the day. So one thing that kind of popped in my head is, like, for you were saying, oh, it told me that if I continue on this, this is where I'm going to end up after so many days, which is a great motivator. But the other thing is that there's this finality there, like, hey, I'm done for the day. I'm going to mark this off and tell MyFitnessPal I'm done for today. I'm not going to eat any more food. So I felt like you taking that step, like when you said that to me, that was a great way of like putting the period on the end of the day. Do you agree with that?
I hadn't thought of it like that, because you can go back in and adjust it later if you did do something different.
Say that.
Okay. You can edit that.
I know.
But anyway, but no, that's a good thought. So I'll try to make it a point to do that.
Right. Yeah. And most people, like, it's enough for them to look at MyFitnessPal when they're logging their meals and be like, all right, I have reached the end of my calorie allotment. I'm done. And they don't have to take that extra step, but we've been doing that so long. Maybe this is the extra thing that you need, just having the app tell you, hey, I've reached my goal. I know that I'm bound to be headed for late night snacking. I'm going to go ahead and cut this off, tell MyFitnessPal I'm done for today, and, see what it tells me. And I'm going to kind of tell you guys this, but that's also for anybody else who's watching the recording after the fact. That might be something that we have to incorporate, not just from a food perspective, but maybe also an exercise perspective. I know sometimes with habits, like we didn't talk about this last week with like increasing or decreasing resistance to do something, but there's sometimes this idea with habit change where, if you want to get in the habit of waking up early in the morning and going to the gym, but normally you just sleep in, maybe the first step for you is literally just laying your gym clothes out the night before, and that's it. You don't actually get up and go to the gym. You just lay the clothes out. And then after you get used to doing that, then the next day, maybe eventually you actually wake up and you put the clothes on, but then you just take them off and you don't actually go to the gym. So you're like that sounds asinine, but you're building it step by step until you're putting the clothes on, you're driving to the gym, you're going in the gym, all that stuff. You could do it step by step like that. But basically you are creating this habit where like, this is what I'm going to do. It's kind of similar in that finality thing. Like, another thing is like if you're going to the gym or you're busy throughout the day and you know that you're not motivated at the end of the day to work out, or you're not motivated in the morning to work out, but you make it easier for yourself to do that thing. There's this like finality to it. You've either got your workout equipment in your car, or you make sure that you're driving, past the gym as you go to work or after work or whatever. So I'm just kind of throwing those ideas out there for anybody else who's watching this after the fact. If exercise is an issue for you, try to implement something where it's kind of set in stone. Like, this is what I do now. Obviously making some, like, understanding that you're still human, but trying to set something up so that you're starting to get into the habit. It's kind of overlapping into the habits thing, but hopefully that kind of makes sense.
I had something similar to that happen to me when I started the program, started to change my lifestyle, not to diet, but to change my lifestyle. And that was at first, Jack started first, he lost weight successfully. So that gave me okay, that was one of my ducks lining up. And then because of his weight loss, he had started making meals, pre-making them, pre-measuring them. So it was easy for me to follow. All I had to do was pick up that up and, and then I started drinking water. I'd already was working out at the gym, but then I had started actually doing workouts instead of just 20 minutes on the bike. So each thing was one step, like you said, one progression. It wasn't all at once. It wasn't one day I just started doing it. It was like every new duck had to cut back in line, and then until I had a whole line of them lined up, and it was successful.
Right. And, kind of along that same vein, and especially for you and Jack right now with everything going on with like the cancer treatment and all that, is what I would love to see, you're going to have to mull over this, is I would not expect you guys to continue on 100% like doing the diet thing and exercising and whatever, but instead have in your mind, like, I am still on this path and I'm going to do what I can. You're accepting that you can't do everything. You're probably not going to be able to go to the gym every day. You're probably not going to come to karate class every day. You're probably not going to be able to eat perfect meals, but you can take an extra walk, or you can, like, if you're going to the hospital, you can park like further back in the parking lot and take a longer walk in and a longer walk out to get some kind of physical activity. Maybe you can, do a set of push-ups while you're waiting in the lobby. When you go out to eat, if you don't necessarily choose a healthy restaurant, maybe you try to choose a healthier option. And I know that like that gets overworked and oversaid, but if you have this mindset, this also kind of goes back to the habit thing of like, this is this finality of it. This is what I am now. This is what I am doing now. I'm not trying to be healthy. I am healthy. It's the law of attraction thing. If I decide like I am healthy, I'm living my lifestyle as a healthy person, then you will do things that basically resonate with that. Whether it's, and like I said, not expecting you guys to be perfect at all. But if you're living in that mentality, you're like, okay, like for me, I'm a active business person who's also an athlete. So for me, it's a given. I will get enough sleep. I will figure out some way to get enough sleep. It is very important for me to get enough sleep. I wish I could think about that about food too, like get enough food, but still, like that's the way that I think.
It'll happen.
Right. So another lady that I respect on Facebook, she said the same thing. Like for karate people, we think of ourselves as athletes. The moment you think of yourself as something and you are now that thing, you kind of orient your life in that direction. So if you and Jack are like, you know what, we're healthy people, we've been doing this long enough, that's how we're living. We're not going to start deterring just because all of this stuff is going on. Obviously, you can give yourself some grace, but you're still going to make those healthy decisions because that's who you are now.
Well, I agree with that 100%, because when we started on this path, it wasn't ever meant to be a diet. Right. It was a change of lifestyle that was going to have the positive effect of us being less in weight and more involved, and those are still our goals, and those are still what we want to do. So you're right, that is part of who we are now. And you're right. They don't even want him on a diet right now. Right. But they do want him to eat healthy, which we do. 95% of the time we do.
Good.
And one of the things that helps Jack when he's really on track is if we go to a restaurant and he immediately asks for a to-go, and cuts his food in half, then that works really well for him. I usually don't eat that much at a meal anyway, so now I usually get one just because I've got to take it home anyway. But for Jack, that was a real discipline that he was successful with, and we could still go out to eat.
Yeah. Perfect. There you go. See, it's just incorporated into your lifestyle. Nothing fancy. I mean, obviously it is a little bit of a change, but I think the biggest thing is like the more often that we can look at things as like maybe like from a global perspective, like you looking at the MyFitnessPal thing and it's saying, hey, if you continue these little steps on for the next however many days, you're probably going to see this much weight loss. Being able to look from that global perspective and be like, you know, this is a lot of little things, but this is the goal. This is who I'm trying to be. That kind of makes it easier. And I say that because I am a very analytical person, and it makes me crazy. So the moment that I can take a step back and look at everything from a big perspective, it makes it much easier for my mindset, I know. Before we go, Jack, anything you're struggling with?
Getting back in the gym.
Okay.
Just not being able to find the time for it. And what's like later on in the afternoon,
Yeah.
I don't feel like doing anything.
Right.
But I'm going to try to, when I come back from the getting radiation, I want to try to go right after I get home
Okay.
and go back to the gym.
Right.
Because I don't want to get sore like I used to.
Right. Is it just the time it takes to get back home and get ready and go, or is it like you're really tired when you get home, or?
Well, I have a honeydew list.
Oh, that.
Because we are decluttering the house. We bought a trailer to pack it all in,
Right.
and we are decluttering the house so we can list it.
Gotcha. So then maybe, Jack, it's just a matter of better planning. So if you know that the best time for you to go to the gym is after you get back from radiation, then maybe you go ahead, like have your clothes ready to go. So right when you get home, if Marlene's not going to go with you, you drop her off, grab your clothes and go. And then go ahead and have in your schedule to do your honey-do list later on. Like, I know that sounds like a given, but if you have it.
Oh, it's a dream. That's a dream. That's a dream.
She's not going to let you go.
I'm not going to stop him because that's important to him.
Yeah.
It's important to him.
Yeah.
But we don't know what to expect. Like I said, we're in limbo in so many things because of that.
Yeah. All right. Well, Jack, try to plan and consult Marlene with your plans and make sure you guys are on the same page.
Yeah. Tell her and leave.
All right. Do you guys have any more questions about anything?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
All right. Well, y'all are great. And hopefully I'll see y'all sometime this week.
See me tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.